I have a saying that I wrote. It states, "Don't nobody know God like I know God. Therefore, don't nobody owe God like I owe God." You know, I know where I came from. I know my past. I know, that I've been homeless. I've been hungry. I've been on the streets. As a minor and had no place to go. I had to jump in dumpsters and get maggots on my hands just to feed myself at times. So I know now that if I have the ability now to make a difference in somebody else's life, it is my responsibility to make a difference in somebody else's life. So he who has the ability to make a difference has the responsibility to make a difference. So it's not a choice. There's should I do something or should I not? No, it is my responsibility, to make a difference. I know when I was thrown out in high school by my mother, she put me on the streets, and a guy let me come stay with him with a friend of mine. His dad let me come stay with them for a while, and I told him, I'm like, even though I don't have no money or anything, I'll pay you somehow. I'll find a way to pay you. And he told me that the only way that I can pay him was to make sure that I do the same for others when I get older. To make sure that what he's investing in my life, to make sure I have a roof over my head, I have food in my belly, and that I can make it to school successfully every day, even though I come from a broken home and I was on the streets. So now he's telling me that I've already feel like I'm obligated and I owe this man something. And he's telling me that the only way that I have to repay him is make sure that I don't become a fluke, that this don't be his, I don't waste his time, his money, that my life don't just be thrown away, as a waste. So I owe it to him. I owe it to a lot of people to make sure that I make myself into a better person, that I'm a good person, and that I can create also other people. And I'm thankful for all the people in the past that brought me to where I'm at and helped me, advance and help develop me, even though I came from a broken down home. Because I know a lot of people that use that, hey, my mom didn't love me, my mom put me out, and this and that, to be, a monster that's in society, and use that as an excuse, rather than using that as an excuse to break inside somebody's home or to be robbing somebody or to be on those streets. I'd rather use that as in saying, I don't want to see this for the future. I don't want to see the next kid or nobody else have to go through what I went through. I have dedicated my life every day, 7 days a week, to try to make the world a better place, to open up youth centers, to spread the word, to make sure I fight for the First Amendment, for the free speech, so that our voice can still be heard on these private properties like Walmarts and Targets and Safeways. I've dedicated my life. So before anybody can down me and tell me that I'm a fraud or I'm no good for this job or anything, they must first prove to me that they do the same as well, or they have a significant effect on the community themselves. Don't sit around and do nothing for anybody else but yourself and then point the finger at me about how I do things. So I'm doing what I can and I'm doing my part, and if you're not doing anything, then I can really care less about what anybody feels who's not doing anything. Just like Malcolm X said, if you're not willing to die, the word freedom should not even be in your vocabulary. Samoa V. My angle is to let everybody know about their rights and encourage everybody to suppress them and to come together, remember their neighbor, remember Jesus and how he lived, and help together make the world a better place. Stop pointing the finger at the government or Obama or whoever the president is or the police department for not doing their job. If you don't do your job, if you're not doing anything yourself, then you have no right to point the finger at anybody else. And I'm not saying that that any of the government agencies or police department is right. I'm just saying that before you can judge anybody else, in fact, don't judge anybody else. You just do your part. And if everybody just did their part, then this world would be a better place. This whole battle, to me, I believe that it's like a game of chess. I believe that my organization, this is like a game against good and evil for the knowledge of the people. I believe that my organization, New Creation Outreach, is the kingdom. Is the king. By itself, New Creation Outreach is really, harmless. It really can't attack that much. It's not dominant at all, and once it's killed, then the game is completely over. The queen, this right here, the queen would be me, which is the most dominant piece on the chess game. I can move in any direction, and I can I'm the most dominant soldier on the chess game. The castles and the knights and the bishops are all my supervisors and drivers and child facilitators and people that make sure that that the job gets done. My pawns are effective to me because our pawns are like our fundraisers and make sure that we push everything else back here in the back forward. So in case anything happens to any one of these, it is a pawn's job to make it to the other side so that we can make sure we get back on track with our men back here. As well as if I'm captured or sick or away or down or arrested or beat down by the police department again, then it'd be my pawn's job to make sure that they do the necessary research and the hour search to make sure that I am free and we are able to continue. The other side here, you have the king, and the king is a person who holds the knowledge and the key to what's going on. The king is what we're after. It's because once we kill that king, then the world will know what our view is. So as long as they hold the key to the knowledge of our rights of free speech, and they hold the key to everybody knowing that if we all come together, then we wouldn't need big box stores, and we wouldn't need to depend on the shopping centers or whatnot. So we have their king, and who do they have behind them, backing them up? They have dominant pieces like the queen, the bishops, the knights, and the castles. Theirs is the police department, sheriff's department, the news, the media. The pawns are the littler people that are so confused by what they're telling them at the top that they're willing to go straight forth into battle against me and against good for no reason. So you have my little team that's real small, and it's not, it doesn't have the money and the power that the people that we're up against, but we have the power of God, and that's what keeps us standing inside this battle between what's right and what's wrong. We're living in the last days. We're living in the days where they're calling the right wrong and they're calling the wrong right. They even want you to believe that don't give, like stores like United got signs up saying don't support this organization because they're not in Marin County. So they got these people brainwashed so much to where they feel like it is wrong to support anybody who's not in Marin County. Now, is that godlike? Can you say that that is, that Jesus would turn his back and turn his cheek on somebody, on on children or people in need, because of the fact that they're not from Jerusalem. We need to wake up and pay attention.